Hey, just a caution. This is a very long video for people who already know how to put a fan in. This video may be excruciating. I purposely left this video long. I want to remind you that my channel is for people who haven't done this type of work and don't do this type of work on a regular basis, but just need a little guidance and a little encouragement to do this type of thing. So this is a long video. If you haven't ever installed a ceiling fan and you don't generally do this type of thing, I would encourage you to watch the entire video. It's almost a minute by minute version of installing a ceiling fan. You'll get to see how it goes up and you'll get to see the mistakes so that you don't make those same mistakes. So you could certainly skip along in the video, but it is a long video. I encourage you to watch the entire thing. Thanks. Okay, I think I have everything recording now. This job is going to be, should be a fairly straightforward, non-complicated job. I'm going to attempt to show you how nearly anybody that has the physical ability can change out a ceiling fan. Now, this is a ceiling fan that I'm just trading out. I'm not installing it from scratch. It's not, there's a ceiling fan already in place. So all of the infrastructure is already there. The box, all of that's already there. The power, everything's already there. And I'm replacing it with pretty much the same type of fan. So I'm going to show you the process of replacing this thing and show you that it's very, very easy to do. Nearly anybody can do it, so don't be scared of replacing a fan. It's not that hard. Very simple tools, and I'll show you. The tools are simply, you could do it with a screwdriver, but I'm going to use a drill. It's actually a driver and a little small hand driver. I think it's it's a 4-volt, one of the little small hand drivers. And you're going to need a standard screwdriver, and that is really all that is required. A small ladder. Well, it depends on how high it's up. Now, if I wouldn't attempt doing this if it's really high ceilings. If it's your first one, I'm going to do one that's about 20 feet here in a couple of weeks, but I'm renting a scaffold to do that. So in order to do it safely, I'm going to rent the proper tools to do it. But this just small ladder will get me right up there where I need to be, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Nothing to it. Here we go. Okay, now another thing that could be crucial or important anyway is to make sure that you have a alternate source of light. That's the only source of light in this area, or if it is the source of light that if the other source of light is also on the same switch or circuit. Now I have some small pliers. I have a screwdriver, have a standard screwdriver, and what used to be called a Phillips, or there's many different terms for that now. And I have a small meter. That's basically going to tell me if there's any power to that thing. Now, the first thing that we're always going to do with a fan is take the bulbs out. Usually the bulbs have to be taken out before you can access these shades. So the bulbs come out. And these little set screws, most people know this. They know this part of the job. These set screws, make sure my stomach's not hanging out. Most people know that these little set screws are here, and that's how you remove these shades. I might have to change shirts. I don't want to flash you guys. Might cause an incident with my belly. But anyway, let's take these shades off, get them out of the way. Now this fan is it's perfect. I believe they bought this like the week before we purchased the home. I think they put it in just for us to buy. There must have been a problem with their fan, because this thing is absolutely perfect. It doesn't have a scratch on it. It doesn't have it shows no sign of even being used, honestly. So I just don't like the style. The brass, me personally, I don't like it. Some people love it. I don't like it. I do know that if you do much shopping around or anything, you will notice that gold is back in. Now it's not brass. Brass is not in, but gold brushed. It looks like brushed nickel, only it's gold. That's the new big thing. That's the new trend. All the lights that I saw today when I purchased this fan, all the new lights that were in, a big portion of them were done in gold. Now, I do also, this is not a requirement neither, but I do have it. And it is a pan. It is a magnetic pan. And I'm going to put the screws in when they fall, because these screws tend to get lost, and I can just drop them down and put them in the magnetic tray if they're magnetic. Now that's the problem, is, and they are. A lot of times these screws are not magnetic. But so the next step is to take a screwdriver, either one, a Phillips or a straight. Most of them will use either one. And you remove the blades. The blades have to come off to take the fan down. You could do it without taking them down, but it would be much harder and require more work than is necessary. Usually these blades have 2 screws on each blade. 2 screws on each blade. And on the that will be the like the 1/8 of the circle. Each one of them has a screw. So I already lost one. I thought I was doing a great thing by having that magnetic. There it is. It is, at least when I drop them, they're going to stay. So we're going to get these blades off of here. Now, I have done a video on ceiling fans before, but it was a more complicated job. And this one's more standard of what it's usually like to do a ceiling fan job. They're really not. A lot of times there's really nothing to them. Now, installing them from scratch is a different story, because there's certain ways to hang these things in order to be able to do the wiring, hold them in place, and put all the screws in. And there's always a process. You have to follow the steps on your individual fan, because a lot of times there's a certain way they have to go together, or else you won't be able to hold them in place and make adjustments or get screws in, or even hold them in to do the wiring. So there's always a process, and then whatever way the manufacturer recommends, that's going to be the way that you want to do it. Now, blades are off. Look at this thing. It's absolutely perfect. It shows no sign of even being used. Now, once the blades are off, usually you have a cover. at the top, up there, at the very top. That covers, that's going to be the same thing. That covers all of the wires. That's going to be where all your connections are at. It's just a cover. Usually you just have to loosen it and then you can turn it and pull it out. Now loosen it, now quarter turn, eighth turn, and drop down. Now this is the key when I talked about just replacing a fan versus putting one in, because most fans use a very similar type of holding bracket, like this part here, this black bracket. Now this bracket allows you, and you'll see how I lifted that up. Now that allows you to set that into place, let go, and be able to do your wiring up here, or whatever else needs to be done. Now, if you don't have that, that can be a problem. Now, sometimes they're different, but many times they're universal. So I am going to go get the fan that I have, open it up, and see if we're going to be replacing that bracket. Now, when you have to install a fan from scratch, or from where a just a overhead light is, you have to make sure that there's a box, a ceiling fan box that is put into place. It has brackets. There are different ones, and they will hold different amounts of weight, and you'll have to look those up, and those will have to be installed before you attempt to install the fan. The box goes in first. That's why all your electrical wires go into that's your junction, and that's where the bracket attaches to. So now I'm at a point where I'm going to go get my new fan and see what's up with it. Now, it's very much alike. One thing that I do see that is different is the set screws. The new fan is stainless, the old fan is gold, and it's identical. Yeah, it's identical. It's the, no, there may be a difference in the height of the ball. No, it's the same. So that bracket can stay. We're gonna pull down our wiring, disconnect our fittings, take these brass screws out. These held that little plate. These little screws held that dress plate into place. And they're going to be stainless now instead of this brass. Everything else is the same. Everything else is the same. Now I'm going to check the wiring, and then I'll check to see if there's any power. I'm going to see that there's any power in this thing. Now be careful when you're moving these wires around. You also want to pay attention to how they have it wired. Now, your fan might be totally different in the way it's wired, but you still want to pay attention. You can take a picture of the way it's wired, because you may have different color wires than what is standard. And you might need to know what they did with the wires, the way that they had it. So, Now this has a remote. A lot of times you'll have a special box for a remote. Now I'm using this, I'm going to use this insulated screwdriver. All I'm doing is dropping that wire nut, pulling the wire nut down. I'm not doing anything with it. Now, we'll make sure these are out of the way of the bracket. And I'm going to disconnect them and check if there's any voltage on them. You should turn them off at the breaker. Unfortunately, I have people in the house today that are using power that needs to be turned off. So I'm going to try to do this. Try to do this with just turning off at the switch, making sure everybody knows what I'm doing and it won't come in and turn the power on or anything like that. But I would say always, always, always turn them off at the breaker. So let me say that. Always turn it off at the breaker. Okay, I'm going to take a picture even. Okay. So I have the video I can look at. So, all right, we're going to pull off the black wire. Now our wiring is really standard, straightforward. Yours may not be. May be different. It's the fan out. Just push up and lift out. Well, there we go. That one was in a bind. There it is. And then it just pulls down. Just now, one thing I'm not sure about is whether my tube is going to be the same length. And it is. I bought another tube. These tubes are a little bit pricey. The tube is a drop tube. That's the metal piece that comes from the ceiling. It goes into the back of the fan. They can be rather pricey. I think I paid almost $20 for one. I didn't know if ours, the one that came with the fan, was going to be long enough. And you can buy these separately. You can buy those tubes separately. And I'm not sure if you saw that, so I'm going to show you again. This is the tube. It has a pin on one end. It has that ball thing on the other. It has a grounding strap. And the wires are going to go through here to go to the fan. I'll move that out of the way and I'll do it right there in front. Put the battery in the box, the remote. Now remember this this all has to go back together in reverse, and so that all those pieces go up and cover the box and the bracket. And there's a certain order you have to put it back together, because you know it's a solid piece and it has to go around the pipe and all of that stuff. So now this remote also has dip tubes, and those dip tubes will need to be in the same arrangement as the remote. So I'm going to see that they are, and they are. Dip tubes are all in the same direction. put the remote back together. All right, that's together. Now, here's our hardware pack. These are weights. If you don't know, fans are balanced with weights. These little weights have little stickers on the back, and if you have a fan that's out of balance, you put a weight on there, and that will, you can use that to balance the fan. Most fans also have reversible blades, so that you have two different choices of what you want them to look like. Usually a dark side and a light side. And you decide how you want your fan. This one has a black side and like a mahogany wood side. And I'm going to go with the wood side. I'm going to stick with the wood side. So I'm going to put this thing together with the wood facing down. I'm sure you knew that, but telling me anyway. Set this hardware off to the side. This is the cap that goes over the very top. No, this might. I think this goes down over the top of the fan. Let's see. Or it may, depending on what. Let's see. This is the piece that covers all of the wires. And then there's a plate that goes on here and twists. And this goes onto that. And the pipe comes through there. Now we have to put that back on the fan in an order that it can be installed. Generally, fans are LED now for the most part. I would say 80% are LED. They don't have they generally don't have a light that can be replaced for the most part. They're just LED lights. There's a circuit board and LED lights on a board. And bad thing is, these things go out. Many times you can't replace the light. Now, I suspect somebody makes these replacements now. But in the beginning, you couldn't replace these things. But I would say they do now. So I can tell by this. This is not installed on the fan. This is added later. So this can be set to the side. This is the cover that goes into that piece. This is the actual fan. It's basically just a motor. Remember, an engine uses fuel, burns something like gasoline, kerosene, diesel. Motors are electric. So some people get that confused. A motor is electric, and engines are like gasoline, like the engine in your car, unless you have an electric car. So let's take a look at this thing. Now I can see now we have these slanted areas where the blades go into, and let's take a look at how these go on. This is not at all the up close. This is not at all the color that the fan that we looked at. This is not the way it looks. A little bit disappointed in the way this thing looks, but we'll put it up and see. We're going to put the wooden color down.
And you see, this is going to be the top of the fan. This is where that tube is going to go, and the motor cover. The tube's going to go here. This is going to go on this end. So it's going to have to be fed through. You got to put it through kind of in reverse, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to set each one of these blades onto those slanted areas, and then we're going to start a screw. And we're going to have to do that for each one of the blades. Now I am disappointed in the looks of this thing so far. I like the looks of the motor and the light, but I do not like the looks of this wood. It's not a good color. I knew it would. I knew wouldn't be real wood, but the one that we looked at was very much a different color and had a better look to it. So I'm going to use my little driver for this, and I hope that this is getting. Come over here and make sure and see that you get this. And you're just gonna. You can do this with just a regular screwdriver is all required for this. This goes like that, and that goes like that, I believe. Yeah, goes like that. So this goes up. I'm gonna pull the pin out of this because we're not going to be able to get all this fed through there otherwise. Now they have this wrapped up. It's not going to go through like that, so we're going to have to open all this up. I thought maybe they had it wrapped up so that we could send it through real easy, but it won't go. So we're going to have to take all this out. Keep your wire ties because we'll use those again. Now look, we have very different wires this time. Different colors and everything. So let's see. That is going to go down. That's going to go up and go over those screws. And that little piece is going to go over it. And this piece is going to go there. So all of this stuff has to be in the proper place. So I'm going to get all of this in. Like that. It's going to go into place like that. Now we're going to feed the wires through. These wires are going to feed through, and we're going to attach them to the wires coming out of the ceiling. So I think I've already done this wrong. I think I've already done this wrong. See, this is why you have to be very careful. I did this wrong. See what I did? This is backwards. So that's why you have to be very careful at this point. So we'll put all this into place the way it goes, and let's put the tube in. All right, the tube's gonna go like this, but all this has to go on first. So this is gonna go like that. Then this goes in, and this goes on that. And then this goes through here like that. I hope that camera's picking it up. Yeah, like that. Now it can be kind of difficult to get the wires through that last bit sometimes, because there's a little rod that this thing swings on, so you're gonna pull everything through. It's like I'm missing one. Yeah, I'm missing one. I don't know why one of them won't come through. There it is. See it there. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Don't know what it's hung on, but it doesn't want to come up here. This is a black wire that doesn't want to come up through. Don't know why. Should just push right through. There it is. Okay, so you see the wire through. And you see, I just put this thing together in reverse. That's all I did was put it together in reverse, so that it will hang, and all of this stuff's going to be at the top covering this black thing, you see. So once you get the rod on and all the wires through, then you're going to put it back into its position where it was to start with. And it looks like this thing has a set screw that needs to be backed out a little bit. It has a set screw over here. It has to be backed out before that down rod will go in and allow you to put your pin through. So make sure your wires are through. Look for your hole. And there's the hole. It still won't go down, so that set screw's still in the way. Oh, so there's 2 set screws. So want to back both of those out. Don't take them all the way out. Just back them out enough for the down tube to go into this fan housing. There we go. Now we're gonna put our pin through. It needs to go all the way through and to the other side. Sometimes it can be a little difficult because remember you have to go around those wires now. And then your little clip, your little retaining pin will go on there. It's a safety pin. It'll go through there and it'll hold it in. Now we have everything in order that it's going to be. Ooh, looks like something's missing. Maybe not, but I have a feeling that there should have been a cap. I don't see it. I don't see a cap. So I guess not, but it would maybe look better if it had a cap on there. Okay. Well, that's the way it is. All right, so we're getting ready to put this thing in place. We're going to read the instructions now, and we're going to see how the remote control is wired and where it sets and all that good stuff. The receiver is there, and how do they suggest doing it? Yeah, I have that wrong. I should have looked at the instructions for the order. I believe I have that wrong. Yes, I do. Alright, I have to take it back off. This decorative down piece, it covers the top of the fan the opposite direction, which I thought maybe it did, but yeah, that's what I was looking at when I said there may be another piece. That's what I was talking about. It looked funny to me. So this everything has to come back out. And this first piece gets fed onto the fan individually. It's going to go on first, and it's going to go where it will cover the whole. It's going to go this way. Now we're gonna put those collar screws back in tight. Those 2 retaining screws, we're gonna put those back in tight so that thing doesn't move around. And We're going to set this thing in place in just a minute. We're going to see whether they have the remote. Okay, they go ahead and put the remote in. The receiver, they put it in. And they have everything coming out. So the big piece, let's see. So at this point, I'm sure every remote receiver is different. So I'll move that light out of the way a little bit so it's not blaring on us. Now, the whole reason for that ball in this design, one of the reasons, it allows the fan to swivel, move with vibrations in the air. And it also is supposed to make this installation so much easier. So we will see how this goes. I'm going to take that out. Wow, yep, that fits perfect now. Now we're going to put our wires up so that we have enough to do what we need to do, but so that the rest is. I hope we have enough room up there to keep this. I don't like cutting these things. Sometimes they want you to cut them. I don't like to cut them because you never know, something happens, and sometimes what if you cut them too short? So we're going to leave a little bit. We're going to wrap the rest up. This probably would have been easier to install the blades afterwards. I didn't look at the white to white. Blue to black. Never seen one do it like this.
Okay, so the rest is just buttoning up your light fixture and tidying up. That's all the information that you need from this video. This video is long enough. So with the information from this video and your instructions for your individual light and some patience, I think anybody can install, anyone can replace a ceiling fan. I've seen as high as $300 to $400 to replace a ceiling fan now, and nearly everyone can do it themselves. So I've got some other videos coming up. Be sure to subscribe. Got the subscribers up to I think around 1,400 now, so we're really channel's growing. I'd appreciate your feedback. If you don't like the video, let me know you don't like it. Make some comments. If you like the video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber and you like to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. We'd enjoy having you as a subscriber. And remember, they may do it another way, but that's the way I do it. We'll see you next time.